Alrighty, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome back everybody to another solo character challenge run with the Bard, or more specifically the continuation of 5 hours ago. I didn't sleep that long. 6? 6 or 7, something like that. Either way, as you can see, once in a while, the message flashes up that not enough MP. So real quick to briefly go once again over what is happening here. We are a Bard, and we have the ability to hide. Hide means you literally run off screen to the right, and the enemy can literally no longer target you. They will still use spells that cost magic, but those spells won't hit you, of course. And also, they will still cost MP. So Biblos has 1000 MP. Where is my... There it is. The Biblos here has 1000 MP. As you can see by the message flashing up right once in a while, he did run out of it. So, what does that mean? His only moves that cost MP are Hammer, which costs 3, Charm, which I think costs 4, and... Hammer again. So it's actually only 2 moves, technically, that cost MP for him. However, the main reason why you do want to run him out of MP is because of Charm. Charm is really devastating if that happens to, well, just hit you. So, the thing is, full disclaimer, I used Ramwatch in order to figure out how long it takes to run him out of MP. Oh, by the way, another big reason as to why you want to run him out of MP before you even attack for the first time is because he has a 2 in 3 chance to counterattack with something called Armor, which is a buff he gives himself, which means any physical damage he takes would be reduced by half. And that's really bad because the only damage we can do, which isn't that much, is physical. So that being reduced by half would already be really bad. So let's hope that doesn't... Well, actually it's not going to happen because armor costs 3 MP. And considering how long this has been running, I'm pretty sure at this point that he used up all of his MP and used Hammer somewhere in there, which cost 3 MP, and he couldn't use it anymore. So, now, the trick is to try and beat this guy. Armor is one part, but once he would drop below 900 HP, I think, he would also start using Drain as a counterattack, which costs, like, 14 MP or something like that. It costs a lot more than the other spells, but we don't have to worry about them since they are no longer present. However, he can still use the abilities to threat, which slows us, which is incredibly bad, but it's kind of almost inevitable that it will happen once we start actually fighting him. He can use Sonic Wave, which halves our level, and in consequence pretty much halves our damage each time it's used, until we basically don't deal any damage anymore. So, slow will happen at some point, but what we absolutely want to avoid is threat. So, I'm actually going to wait until the next time he runs out of MP twice in a row. That way... once? Okay, that way I will have a higher chance of doing... or catching where he is in his AI cycle. Not enough MP right there. So, the previous one could have been turn 4. Turn 4 is the only turn where he cannot use a move that costs MP. Ineffective. But the thing is, I just want to avoid his 4th turn, to avoid getting hit by Sonic Wave. Because Sonic Wave continues his stack. Slow will be applied once. Either way, I used Ramwatch in order to see, and I think I can show that on screen. I think I set it up. There we go. I set it up, I figured out that what the address is for seeing how much MP in boss has. He has 2 MP remaining here on this line, you can tell. And the reason why I did this is because I wanted to see how long does it take approximately to run Biblos out of MP. And it turns out it's just under 2 hours, approximately 113 minutes-ish. It might be some variance, but basically I waited for 10 minutes and saw how much MP he lost in those 10 minutes, and that then just kind of calculated out how much it would take, or how long it would take him to lose his entire 1000 MP. Either way, What do we do if we lose? Well, that's an excellent question. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, no, I have already planned on what we do, but let's hope we don't lose. Is your spreadsheet of status vulnerability public? Oh, it is, yes. If you'd like to check it out, !SSCC. You should be able to just click on the tiny URL link to the spreadsheet, and you can just make a copy for yourself for it if you'd like to. Alrighty, so let's see. I'm going to see how this is going to go. I will appear right after Biblos comes, and before I forget about it, I actually want to open up a little calculator. He has 3600 HP, and I want to keep track of how much damage I deal. Ineffective, I will attack him, and I miss. Well, that's not good. And I attack him again. 216. The 216 would only be about, ouch, oh my goodness, 404 damage. It would only be about 18 attacks, which is pretty decent, I dare to say. But the thing is, once Sonic Wave hits and slow hits, that will be a major problem. Alrighty, I just hope that I get as many swings in as possible before before he hits slow or Sonic Wave. If I knew where he was in his AI cycle, I would be able to avoid the turn where he can use Sonic Wave more effectively. Unfortunately, well, I do not know that, so right now it's just kind of luck until he uses a move that is specifically associated with exactly one turn. And those fight moves he can do every single turn, and I have to heal up. He did not joke around, we just use straight up elixirs to go back to full. Threat, okay. So this means he is in the first or fourth or third turn, which means he can either use Sonic Wave next turn or in 3 turns. So, alrighty, that's good to know. Also, it's really good that they missed. We have, actually didn't calculate the chance, but we have an okay chance to avoid that getting hit by this. If we do get hit, we are incredibly slow, and it's really nice that we didn't get hit. Let's hope he does not use Sonic Wave. Please? No! Ah! Why? Well, our damage is cut in half now. 90. Well, at least we know where he is. That's now turn 1. By the way, we have a 50% chance to avoid physical damage. That's turn 2. And now we slowed. Okay, now we are in really bad shape. And more Sonic Wave. Oh boy, this is not a good start. At least it doesn't cut our damage that much anymore. That is turn 1 again. Turn 2. And he could already kill us with a physical attack now, so I kind of have to heal. Thank you for dodging, Ferris. It's turn 4. Turn 1 again. Next is turn 2. Please use some spells that don't do anything. Thank you. I appreciate that. 84. We still have to chew through 2549 HP. And this is going to be luck-based, because he could just use a series of moves where we can't do anything in between. Why Bard? Because that was the next class chosen. That's literally all there is to it. 84. And really, if he got armor through, we would, well, half all the damage we do. That's not good. So I'm actually going to wait until he takes his next turn. If we get hit, I will heal. If we avoid getting hit, now we get hit, I will just attack. By Bard, yeah, it's a challenge of this run. That's pretty much exactly how it is. Nice. There's not really any reason why any class in particular, but this is the challenge run number 13. I started with the White Mage without necessarily any intention of doing any other solo challenge runs. Okay, I'm going to wait again. Okay, good block. So here's the question. I'm actually going to heal. Where's my high potion? Oh, I used it on Neighbor, didn't I? If I play this conservative, my helices might not last all the way. But I'm also curious how many turns he gets in for me getting one turn in. Like right now, he just takes his move. So if I elixir now, or if I attack now, if he gets 2 physical attacks in, I'm dead. Chances of that happening are relatively slim, but it's always possible. Alright, let's just figure out how many turns does he get. So I just took my turn right after him. So how many turns does it take until I can move again? So this is 1. 2. Alright, he gets 2. And then I can take my move. Oof, Sonic Wave. At this point it's not reducing my damage by as much anymore. And soon it's actually going to be preferential if he for him to actually use Sonic Wave, because it's not going to really reduce my damage anymore anyways. Yeah. He gets potentially 3 turns. I'm going to wait until he moves. And this is exactly why 2 physical attacks in a row would kill me. It didn't reduce it on that roll at all. Yeah, that sounds about right. 78. Oh. So here's the thing. He gets 2 turns pretty much no matter what I do. He might actually even get up to 3 turns. So if I don't heal right here... Yeah, I should make it based on whatever he does. Alright, so we attack. This might not be the clever solution, but then again... Is there really such a thing as a clever solution right now? I actually just barely don't have enough HP to comfortably survive 2 physical attacks and the Wind Slash. If I had slightly more HP to survive the Wind Slash on top of 2 physicals, then this would probably be a bit more reasonable without having to take any risks. Threat. We wait for his turn again. Alright, so we attack. Please stop missing, Ferris. 405, he might die here if he decides to do that again. We didn't, so that's nice. What other jobs have you done? 12 others? Yes. If you follow the link... Actually, I guess if you are on mobile it's kinda difficult, but once we're done with this fight one way or another, I can show you if you remind me. The thing is, this might take a while. We have done Blue Mage, Time Mage, White Mage, Necromancer, and a few others. Just going to wait here real quick. Right, we're fine with this. One more attack and we're halfway through his HP. So if only we would have gotten a bit luckier with... I don't want to attack, or I don't want to heal right now. I'm actually going to wait for his next turn. And then again, if he does that, what do I do? I'm just going to wait for his next turn for him to heal anyways? This is not good. This is such a sketchy amount of HP right now. I think the correct move is to heal. Once again, he can attack, but he can also attack or Wind Slash on the same turns. So chances of Wind Slash attack are way higher. Just attack, he will get 2 turns. Well, there goes the rest of our damage. And if he has a Wind Slash next turn, we're dead. Alrighty. Goodbye. So we've gotten really unlucky with how quick he managed to get Sonic Wave to hit. We got relatively lucky for slow, but Sonic Wave hitting this early was just slowing us down tremendously. Okay, and this means I will have to update the def count +1, which actually is surprisingly low def count for a Bard, but then again, it just takes long for other reasons. Either way, I can show you real quick. So if you follow the link, you can actually find the spreadsheet that we have created, well, I have created for this one here. So the challenge or the classes that I've done so far, you can find here. We have done White Mage, Dragoon, Dancer, Blue Mage, Chemist, Necromancer, Time Mage, Triomancer, Oracle, Mystic Knight, Hunter, and Summoner. I didn't link that yet. And currently in progress is the Bard. The outstanding classes are here, and Berserker used to be in limbo, but I will do it, because we did reach a certain goal at some point. And I did already prepare the console for it, because if I do solo Berserker, might as well go all in and do it on an original cartridge and console. So yeah, these are the ones we have done so far. Alrighty, so what this means now, we have to run Biblos out of MP again. Next time you'll take him down, hopefully. The thing is, I don't really know what the probability is. It might be faster on average or in the long run if we were to go to the next threshold of, well, us dealing more damage and having higher levels. The higher level we are, the higher our chance is to avoid getting hit by Biblos moves. So Biblos is level 24, we are level 34, which means he has a baseline chance of 10% less to hit for his abilities and spells. Let me double check real quick what the chance is for Sonic Wave. So Sonic Wave has a chance to hit of 80%. So baseline, instead of 80% chance to hit with Sonic Wave, he has a 70% chance to hit. This is reduced by our equipment, who has a certain amount of magic evasion. So let's see, the Plumed Hat has a magic evasion of 5%. That is all additive to all equipment, so that is 5. Then a Silk Rope has another 16, so that is 21%, and the Elf Cape has, I think, another 5. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, another 5. So we have a 26% additional chance to evade the magic. So initially he has a 70% chance to hit. After that, it's checked if he does hit. We have a 26% chance to avoid the damage or the attack anyways. So if we use our little calculator here, we go ahead and say we multiply 70% chance times 26. Actually, no, the chance to actually hit is 70%. The chance to avoid would be 30%. That means he has another 74% chance to hit after that. So that means we have a 48.2% chance to avoid, almost a 50% chance to avoid getting hit by any of his chance to hit spells. Well, actually, Sonic Wave in particular. I'm not sure about Thread that applies slow. Thread, as a matter of fact, has a 99% baseline chance. So it wouldn't be as good of odds to not get hit by Thread. Either way, the higher level we are, the gist of it is that the higher level we are, the better our odds of actually avoiding the damage. Also, we have more maximum HP. Also, we would potentially do more damage. Oh, speaking of damage, our next threshold of dealing damage is, right now we are level 34 here. And our next threshold of dealing more damage would be at level 41. So that would be another 7 levels to grind. At that point we would also have 1301 HP, which would be comfortable. But if I can avoid grinding to 41, I would like to do so. So we're going to give this like a few tries to get an idea of how reasonable or likely it is to win this. One of the problems there will be for this kind of approach on this particular boss is really that how likely is it for me to avoid getting hit by these abilities? Well, the longer I avoid specifically Sonic Wave, the significantly more attack I can deal. or a damage I can deal before he reduces my damage to pitiful levels, and also slows me for that matter. So that means if I get lucky for like 10 turns, I will deal like 2000 damage. But if he hits Sonic Wave on like the second turn, like he just did in the previous attempt, well, it will not be as favorable, because I will deal only like 400 damage. And then we start dealing a lot less. It's strange how irregular damage formula is with level. Yes, that is specific to dagger-type weapons as well as... There was another type of weapon that had the same weird formula. Might be bows? It could be bows, I don't remember exactly. Either way, yeah, to real quick explain how irregular, why the damage is so irregular, it's basically actually due to a programming bug. Daggers are supposed to scale with agility just as good as they scale with strength. And if they were, we would actually deal like 400 damage instead of 200 here. So that would be greatly to our benefit. Unfortunately, that is not really how it works. Plus, if it did work like that, daggers would be, like, simply overpowered. No jokes, dagger would be way too good if the damage formula actually didn't have a bug in it. But because it has a bug in it, as a result, it does something a bit weird. Effectively, it just sometimes gives you a +1 boost or damage, or boost to your attack modifier, and sometimes it doesn't, depending on your level and agility. The higher your level and agility are, the more frequent it just kind of turns on and off between the levels. Actually, the higher your agility is, the more frequently you switch between it actually applying and it actually not applying. If that makes sense. I mean, the short version is, without going into any technical details, sometimes you get a boost from E-Dagger, sometimes you don't. But yeah, it's mostly for dagger type weapon. Not only, but mostly. Each turn Biblos has a 1 in 3 chance for fight, each other turn he has a 1 in 3 chance for wind slash. Yeah, the thing is, on his wind slash turns he also has a 1 in 3 chance to fight. So there's not really any safe way for us to approach this. In fact, I would be better off just risking it as long as I survive one more attack, realistically. As long as I keep track of it. Actually, it doesn't matter where the wind slash turns are, since I always need 2 turns until he goes somewhere else. Either way, I kind of planned ahead a little bit for once. And I would like to introduce you to a little bit of an odd thing. So, we're actually going to go away from Final Fantasy V here for a second, so let me mute the game for a while. And for anybody watching the votes or highlight, this portion here will pretty much be cut out, just kind of as a heads up, so you will just see when we come back and he has run out of MP. So, until right afterwards. For anybody who is watching this live, oops, I accidentally minimized. So, probability dictates that at this point Biblos should be out of MP, I would think anyways. So, we can give it our second try right here. Let's go. Oh, I need my calculator again so I can see. Quality gameplay? Well, that's just what you have to do sometimes for challenge runs. If you expect gameplay, you probably are better off checking out some VODs, or for that matter, well, I don't know, other things? Videos with highlights and stuff are usually better for this type of challenge than it being live. At least if you want the more instant gratification type thing. Alright, let's go. Wind slash. Alright, so we're already getting damaged. 2, 3, 2. Armor, not enough MP. Alright. Magic Hammer, not enough MP, we get to attack again. 216. Sonic Wave, missed. Nice. Very good. We have a slightly under 50% chance to avoid getting hit by Sonic Wave. first turn again. Now his second turn from him. Charm, not enough MP. Roll 8. Third turn now. Threat thankfully missed. I'm actually going to hide here, because this is the turn where he can potentially get Sonic Wave. So this is the fourth turn. Now he's back to the first turn. Then his second turn right here. Third turn right here. After the fourth turn we show again. Because that is when he no longer can use Sonic Wave until, well, 4 turns again. Turn 1. 108. Turn 2. Very nice. 108. Turn 3. Nice dodge, Ferris. Alright, we hide again because this is the turn where he can use Sonic Wave again. Sonic Wave is really what we want to avoid. Slow, it will hit us eventually. He can use it every other turn. So that's just going to happen at some point. But until then, we can still play around the Sonic Wave. Turn 3. And turn 4 right here. And there's the slow. Unfortunate, but it's just going to happen at some point. 216. And now we're not gonna hide anymore from Sonic Wave, it's not really worth it. Charm is turn 2. Turn 3 is here. Magic Hammer, he missed again. Just going to go for it. 208. We have dealt more than half of his HP in damage at this point. Actually, slightly less. Nice blocks Ferris, that does turn 1 again. 2-4. He gets about 2 turns every time I get 1 turn when I'm slowed. Okay, we will survive 1 physical attack. Magic Hammer. I'm going to wait out his next turn. And if he hits or doesn't, I'm actually going to heal. That way he doesn't suddenly get 3 turns on me, where he might be able to kill me. If I just wait a little bit there. Threat at this point doesn't matter anymore, it's not gonna slow me any further. Charm, one of the desirable effects because it doesn't do anything. 1, 2, 1, 6. Magic Hammer, very nice. Now he could use Sonic Wave, please don't use it. Thank you very much. It's a pretty heavy hit. Kinda like before, I'm going to wait. Should I wait? It's 2 turns. He does get a Wind Slash. Yeah. I'm gonna wait. I don't want to wait. I want to get this over as quick as possible. Charm. That was turn 2. I think turn 3 is next. Ooh, that's not good. Next turn, we wait again. Sonic Wave missed. God, we are still lucky. The first time he will hit Sonic Wave is when he will have a higher chance of hitting Sonic Wave subsequently. Turn 1. Turn 2. Oh. Unpleasant. We go for the attack. 6. Turn 3. Ooh, that's not good. Oh! A physical attack would have killed us here, most likely. Thankfully, Ferris blocked it. We have a 50% chance to block physicals, so there's that. Oof, not pleasant. Going to wait very slightly here until he takes his turn. And there's... Maybe I should instantly heal rather than wait. And slash. Turn 2. Actually, at this point I lost track of where we are. But we still haven't gotten Sonic Wave, so this is really, really good so far. We have slightly more than 1000 HP to go, so 5 attacks will do the trick if we don't get Sonic Waved in the meantime. I'm going to actually just straight up heal, rather than wait. Oh, now it's 10 attacks. And an attack hit, that's not good. Charm missed. So... Wait. Let me double check something real quick. Which turn is Charm? I think it's turn 3. Which is also where he can use... Wind Slash, isn't it? Where is my thing? Here it is. Bite, Charm, Wind Slash. Yes, alrighty, so next turn is not going to be Wind Slash guaranteed. Whenever he has a Wind Slash turn, which is every other turn, he has basically a 2 and 3 chance to attack us effectively. So I don't want to wait for these turns. Oof. Attack. 104. Magic Hammer is good. Charm, not enough MP. He might get 3 attacks here. He dealt 2,800 damage exactly so far. Sonic Wave. Okay, that's good, because... Well, our damage is not going to fall much further, but it could. I'm going to slightly wait to see what he does. But it's nice, so we attack now. Drain, so that means he's below 900 HP now. Which, well, I knew that already, but... Block Ferris. Very nice. 3016 damage so far. 6 more attacks will do the trick. So I want to wait until his next attack here. Threat. Wind Slash and Threat. Next he has a 2 and 3 chance to attack, so I'm going to wait out his attack and then heal afterwards. No matter what it is, I will heal afterwards. Phew, that's not good. I'm gonna go for the attack though. I guess that's the first miss, so somewhat okay. He does have like a 10% chance to dodge, so we've gotten decently lucky so far. So we do want to heal right now without waiting, because a physical attack would kill us. Double halved, so it's actually now 7 attacks that will defeat him. Probably. Yeah, it's 7. Actually, might be more. 6. No, it's 7 actually now. Oof, unless we get really high rolls. No, don't hit me, please. This is mean. Magic Hammer. Magic Hammer. Alright, next he has a Wind Slash attack possibility, so we're gonna wait 2 and 3 chance to attack us. So we want to heal right after. Okay. If he were to use Wind Slash on his other turn, he would guaranteed kill us. Or physical actually hit, for that matter. Good thing I healed. We immediately attack now. 81. That's not good. Please block. Charm is fine. We need to heal. No waiting allowed. Ah, block it please, Ferris. I'm gonna wait for his next turn. I don't remember where we are. Threat. Do I want to go for it? He will always get the chance to physical and Wind Slash. It is 5 more attacks to win. We're not gonna run out of elixir, but we might run out of time. Time as in he might just get a combo of attacks off that will just straight up kill us. Like 2 physicals and the Wind Slash. Okay, I think I'm going to go for it. He should only get 2 turns right now. 4 attacks remain. Okay, we should survive a physical. Nice. going to wait for his next turn, where it's Wind Slash or Physical or something else. Giving us the maximum possibility of survival here. Sonic Wave. I think we still should deal the same damage here, if we hit. Only the second miss so far, so this is within reason. Ew. I see what he does next. Actually, I'm gonna heal no matter what out the next one. Red would have been okay. He had just like 200 more maximum HP. It would be so much nicer. I need to wait again. Game category is still on Diablo Lord of Destruction. It shouldn't be. I think I updated it. But thank you. It's updated now already. I might have forgotten to press the update button. Here we go for the attack here. 84. He has less than 200 HP remaining, 173 to be precise, which is just outside of our range for 2 attacks to kill. Actually no, 2 high roll attacks would kill him. Nice block, Ferris. Unfortunately he gets 3 turns here. Sonic Wave, actually we deal less damage now. Actually it doesn't matter what he does, I'm just gonna hit it anyways. Nice block. Okay, 3 attacks remain now. Oh, stop hitting, please. Threat is always on a turn where he can also use Wind Slash. No, that's not true. I'm going to wait for his next move, because it could be 2 or 3 times an attack. So we heal now. Because if he Wind Slash and then hits a physical attack, which is not too unlikely, he would kill us. Like he would have killed us here. Good decision. And unfortunately that means I have to wait now again. Right? Maybe. Actually I should immediately heal. Magic Hammer, that's good. Sonic Wave, at this point, I think it doesn't matter anymore. It's going to be 3 attacks no matter what. Plus 56. 2 more attacks. Good dodge, Ferris. 52. The category went back to Lord of Destruction. Why? Did it? 1 more attack and we are the winners. Come on, Ferris, don't miss. Alrighty, Babylon's down, second try. It only took 4 hours of waiting. And well, like 5 hours of grinding to the correct level. Okay, we can continue this. We will probably continue the Diablo ridiculousness a bit later. No, actually it's still Final Fantasy V for me, updating the dashboard. But hey, we got him. This was the first and probably the biggest hurdle of the entire run for the Bard. Because for the rest of the enemies, while it's not gonna be necessarily easier, at least I have more interesting strategies to use. Well, there's still some enemies that are more efficient for me to take out via running them out of MP. So how many elixirs did we use? I started, I think, with like 35, so we used 20. But I also was playing very conservatively, which was necessary, I dare to say. Whenever there was a Wind Slash plus physical attack could kill me, I decided to heal. Is this the only boss where we have to hide for 2 hours? There's going to be another one later where it's going to be more reasonable to actually hide for a long time and run him out of MP. but not necessarily, well, necessary. There will be at least one boss, actually, now that I think about it, that we want to run out of MP as well. I think he drains his MP quicker, but he also has a lot more. So there will be at least one more boss later that we run out of magic. There might be more, I haven't really looked into all the bosses. Alrighty. But still, I dare to say that Biblos is probably the biggest hurdle of this entire challenge run, so... Save! Alright. Now we can finally move on. We get a ship, with which we can go and grab a flying black Jacobo, which is totally purple, but that's okay. Then we can go and move on to the next set of bosses. So the next boss coming up is Sandworm. Sandworm has 30,000 HP. The problem about Sandworm is actually that it is always considered to be in the back row, which means our attacks will always deal only half damage. Our physical attacks anyways that are not long range, which our dagger attacks are not long range. Then the boss after that is going to be Crayclaw, and that one is going to be a lot of randomness, honestly. Wait, where is the confusion song? Wasn't that in World 2? Let's see. Fantasy 5, Bard. Wrong button. Alluring air. Confuse all enemies found in licks. Various licks. Cray, yeah. Oh, by the way, we have to play all the pianos. I have no idea whether I already played all the pianos, but this is a thing we shouldn't forget as a bard, because it will unlock one of the most overpowered songs in the entire game, even though we won't really have much use for it. To an extent anyways. It would still be really good. Got better at the piano. Piano flex. Oh, Licks is actually Bot's hometown, I remember. So we can actually get the Confusion song soon, which hopefully is going to be our best weapon against Crayclaw, since it is vulnerable to confusion. And only has 2000 HP. Unfortunately, it is faster than us, like so many other enemies are. Let's take a quick look at Sandworm boss here. Alrighty, Sandworm boss has 50 speed. Also, its speed works in a really weird way, so yeah, whatever. Also, it literally has the AI script of fight quicksand quicksand. I'll explain what that means, so... well, once we get to it, is what I mean. Honestly, it's a very unique strategy, being able to run enemies out of MP so easily. Even if it's not particularly fast, it is easy. You literally just wait until they run out of MP. And that is a very viable strategy in a lot of cases. Unfortunately, where it would be most useful, it doesn't work for our benefits, in the sense that we can't really buff up before we actually fight a real fight, since we would die if we tried. Alrighty, here we get the steamship. The reason why I immediately go to Crest Island without having or worrying about without worrying about going anywhere else immediately is because you pretty much get the Black Chocobo right away, and it's way easier to travel the world with a Black Chocobo. The only reason why you would want to keep the steamship for, well, any reason really, is to be able to fight the prototype enemies early. You can't do that until you get the airship afterwards. So if you want to fight the prototypes enemies right away on their island, you have to keep the steamship for a while. Which reminds me, what are prototypes vulnerable to? Prototype enemies, by the way, are basically a mini-boss that is on a separate island. It has 5000 HP, and traditionally the most efficient way of taking out the prototype enemy is just having a Beastmaster use control on it and explode it into itself. And it's an incredibly efficient and strong way to level up as a Beastmaster that I will be most certainly using in the Beastmaster run once we get to it. Let's see. Unfortunately, it is immune against Charm, which would be our best weapon against it. Aside from that, there's not really any good way of taking on the prototype, I don't think. Unless you have a crazy amount of HP. And attack power. Or magic power. Which, we have a Bard. We don't have these things. So the Bard might be the one character that might exceed the White Mage's playtime. The White Mage has... Hang on. What does the White Mage have? Where's the White Mage? Defcons, isn't it? There we go. White Mage has a total playtime of 72 hours and 34 minutes. I mean, ignoring the Berserker anyways. The Bard might actually go longer than that just because it needs to run certain enemies out of MP, and the victory could still be not guaranteed after that. Like, there's the real idea of, instead of running out the second phase of Neo XF out of, or just defeating it straight up like you would normally do, is hiding right away until both the magic and Almagus parts are out of MP. Then you focus on the Grand Cross part with the Apollo's Harp, as well as then just physically hitting the physical part until it is dead. Then you would be basically in the safe zone, because nothing could kill you anymore realistically. And it's just a matter of properly counting damage. Because it's still technically scary to only leave one part alive, since it can use 2 physical attacks with Vacuum Wave. But especially if you only leave the very last part alive, on the left side, it even has a back row Malus, because it's considered to be always in the back row. How much work do you put into developing your strategies for these challenges? This seems like a pretty large amount of effort to calculate. A lot of the strategies and stuff I come up with either on the fly, or I do plan ahead a little bit, but it's more of a subconscious thing. I think about a boss on of how I want to do this, because I at this point know the bosses well enough in order to realize on how they work. I usually have already a strategy outlined. Another part is that I'm not the first one to do these challenges, and I pretty freely and frequently take inspiration from how other people did it, and if they have a particularly good idea about the strategy, I might just adopt it. That is kind of how I go about it, so it is a good chunk of preparation, but not nearly as bad as you might expect. Alrighty, we have arrived in Crescent Island. And in Crescent Island, we can, as a matter of fact, get a new weapon. And I've made it tradition at this point to... Oh, I kind of wanted to keep the knife. Too late! I kind of made it a tradition at this point to just buy all the class-specific weapons. In this case, we buy the Silver Harp. Alrighty. Let me explain something about harp weapons and why they are, generally speaking, not particularly great. So, harps, as you can see, it only has 15 attack, which actually it doesn't even matter. The reason why it doesn't matter is because harps use a specific type of attack formula that does not even include attack power. Most of them anyways, with the exception of the Apollo's Harp. The Apollo's Harp is the one exception that is actually good. Either way, it uses the attack category of song. There is some enemies that are actually, they cannot dodge song type attacks. Because that, well, like it literally states in the AI script, they cannot dodge it. So it could be technically useful against them, right? But the problem is as follows. The Silver Harp uses the damage formula 7F. So what does that even mean? So if I go into the script for checking what 7F means for damage formula, I find that... Let's see, where is it? Attack type 7... There we go. Oh, actually it doesn't really tell me here. Either way, the Silver Harp is a percentile damage weapon. And the problem with this is that it deals 1/16 of the enemy's current health in damage. If it was maximum health, it would actually still be not that great, but actually usable, because the damage would be consistent. Instead, the Silver Harp deals 1/16 of the enemy's current health in damage, so the less HP an enemy has, the less damage it deals. Secondly, it is subject to enemy magic evasion, so they can just straight up dodge your magic attack if they feel so inclined. If they have, like say, 80% magic evasion, 80% of the time you'll just not hit the thing at all, even if you really try hard, honestly. Because that's just how spells that have a chance to hit work. And because, on top of that, it is a percentile attack. And that's the biggest drawback, it does not work on enemies that have the flag as heavy. Almost every boss, with some notable exceptions like Biblos in fact, are not considered heavy. Are considered heavy, that way around, sorry. Most bosses are considered heavy. And that means you can't just straight up not use the harp against them, it does not work. There will be one use for this harp here that I actually have in mind very soonish. You look like you're tired from traveling, I'll teach you a song. So, the Life Song, or also known as the Mighty Marsh, applies the healing or the regeneration effect to your entire party, which I love regeneration in Final Fantasy games as a status effect. It's not that powerful in this one, but it definitely helps. And being able to apply it with just one ability to the entire party is actually really nice. So that is the very first song that we finally can unlock, as well as our very first, well, Bard specific weapon for that matter. Hey, who are you calling heavy? Most bosses are in fact heavy. And Biblos looks rather heavy, but he is as a matter of fact not heavy. So if I had a harp, I would be able to deal 1/16 of his maximum health in damage, which is, or current health in damage, which at the beginning is 3600 divided by 16. I would have dealt 225 damage to Biblos with a harp. If I hit. So it would have actually kind of been decently useful against him. But there's no harp before Biblos, so... Yeah, does regeneration tick while you're hiding? No. But what we might be able to do is, if we are faster than the enemy or the boss, we can unhide after they attack and hide just before they attack again, in order to sneak in some regeneration ticks. Potentially anyways. Or we could just use elixirs instead. Either way, we now have our trusty friend, the purple Jacobo, or well, as they know it, or name it, the black Jacobo. And with this one, we can now visit more places. Immediately, we want to go to 2 places. One is the village of Licks, right over here, which is Bards' hometown. And in Bards' hometown, we have a little music box that plays a really nice melody. By the way, this is one of my favorite musics in the game. I'm gonna shut up. I just really like the music. Hey Jensen, welcome. Thank you. So, in order to be able to learn another song, we have to trigger this little music box. Which, by the way, this is Bards' old house and home. So, this is actually his own music box. Or used to be anyways. His hair changed color when he grew up. Yep. Which is one of the weirdest things, I feel. He was born with anime protagonist hair. Indeed. He grew up and dyed his hair because he wanted to avoid that fate, being an anime protagonist. That plan failed miserably. Well, he's a video game protagonist now, so... success to an extent? Music blocks never plays its last note. So after listening to this, we learned the charm song, and this is a spell that targets all enemies and confuses them with a rather high probability of success. I don't think it's guaranteed. Actually, let me look that up. Charm song casts charm on all, so it's basically the same probability as charm, but because it targets all enemies, it actually can be really good. Still, the probability is not the highest, but, well, I can use it still. No wait, he dyed his hair because Ferris is the protagonist for this run. Might just be. Alrighty, so after we visit Lex, we immediately go further over to the west, or southwest I guess, where we are going to visit History. History is actually only available right now, effectively. Else I forgot where. Map, save me. Oh, further north. It was actually straight west. Either way, History is only available right now. And you can buy super expensive things there that are a flame ring, a angel ring, and a coral ring. So these are rather unique items, and being able to buy them right now is nice to an extent, except that it's also kind of awkward at the same time. The reason why it's awkward is because we don't usually have that much money unless we specifically grind for it, or in our case, because we had to grind for so much anyways, we almost have enough money for both of the rings already. Which, actually, we still have to grind a little bit of money despite grinding that much already. So, most important, I want an angel ring, So what an Ancient Ring does, it prevents zombie and aging status as well as giving us a decent amount of magic evasion, more than the other things. The Flame Ring absorbs fire damage and heals us instead, and on top of that prevents ice damage and nullifies it. So it's actually really good like that. So the Green Beret, and just a little bit more money. Phoenix Sounds we can get back later. Really the cabin. Don't play. Guess we can sort them through dagger. Okay, so that way I don't have to come back later. And a Flame Ring. Jiva, thank you for the host, I appreciate that. So they are incredibly expensive. Unless you specifically want to get them here, you will usually not be able to afford them right here. But they are really good. Especially for very specific situations that do occur in solo character challenge runs. Oh, actually I forgot something. Music is kind of loud. Oh. Sorry. How's about that? I hope it's now better. Thank you for letting me know. But there's another thing we can get in this thing here. So this sheep here, if we interact with it and poke it, what attitude? Bonk. We can actually knock over the fence and can talk to this one. And he teaches us the song, the Love Song. So what the Love Song does, it actually casts Stop on all enemies. Stop is a decently strong status effect that, especially casually with a full party, don't underestimate how ridiculously good it is in random encounters. Because casting Stop on enemies prevents them from doing anything for a really long time. And most enemies are not immune to Stop. Now the catch is that in most boss fights, Stop lasts only a tiny fraction of the time if the enemy is flagged as a heavy enemy. So for most enemies or bosses, even if they are vulnerable to Stop, it just doesn't really do anything. Hey Anonicus, thank you for the good luck. Welcome back to you as well. Sing us a song, how about this? Is your Ferris now a bard? Is the difficulty hard? Does she sing a pleasant song? Does she sing it all night long? Is your Ferris now a bard? I feel like that is supposed to be a song that I don't know, but that's okay. Thank you, Rika. Alrighty, we still need to take care of Butts and... of Galuf. Did I ever give you proper weapon? I did. Yeah. With Metal Daggers, they can one-shot themselves, making it relatively easy for us to proceed. To the tune of the song all walks were singing during my run. Oh boy, how did that go again? Stop is so useful against Omega, yes, but you need multiple bards, or you need to speed song in order to outspeed Omega with that one bard you're using. But it's really good against Omega because Omega in particular is one of the super bosses, and Omega is flagged as being unable to dodge songs. So even though Stop Song also has a chance to hit, because for some reason Omega literally cannot avoid song magic, you will always hit with it. Are you ready? Sure. Yes, we finally are able to sing now. Actually, we already beat Biblos, Pucciaroni, so now we can finally use song magic. So, and now we use the Vitality Song, or also known as Mighty Marsh, which casts a regeneration on our entire party. Which, by the way, interesting point. It is relevant in which character slot your character is sitting in order to get regeneration ticks at different intervals. Also, to answer the previous question, I kind of forgot to mention. I do have the battle speed at 5, which is the second slowest. So I do get plenty of time for inputting my commands, as long as I'm not hesitating too much. 6 would be even slower, but I do not actually lose any time compared to the enemy. Alrighty, so this is Sandworm. Sandworm is a very weird boss. If you hit the holes instead of Sandworm, the hole will counterattack with Demi, which reduces your current HP by half. Which, if you hit the hole a bunch of times, that's really bad, as you might be able to expect, I guess. That's one thing. Then the other thing, he has a super simple AI script. 2 out of 3 times he casts Quicksand, which hits your entire party for exactly 60 damage each time, but also inflicts the HP leak status. One in 3 times he will just physically attack. Again, Sandworm is always considered to be in the back row, which means all physical damage is halved unless it ignores back row bonus or malice for that matter. This is the Super Nintendo fan translation version of the game. This is not the Game Boy Advance version. So yeah, either way, because it does always exactly 60 damage and inflicts the HP leak status, healing up your entire party against Sandworm is actually relatively tough. Like, this guy deals a lot of group damage. But for a solo character that is severely overleveled, it's not nearly as dangerous. It does still deal pretty decent damage, but especially thanks to having regeneration right now, we can actually survive for quite a while. We need exactly 20 attacks in order to defeat Sandworm, so there's that. AKE verse, yeah. For reference, by the way, this is actually an incredibly important milestone in fan translation for games. For reference, this fan translation is, I think, more than 20 years old. Before that, before the Final Fantasy V, there were other games that also had fan translations that were never released outside of Japan. But usually how fan translations looked before Final Fantasy V was the translators would just replace the text and kind of hope it somehow fits and works into the game. And it usually looked rather questionable, let's put it this way, in terms of how it ended up just looking in-game. And Final Fantasy V was the first time that someone decided to do a proper localization rather than just translation. As in, they actually did some programming and effectively ROM hacked the game, so the font spacing was fitting into the restricted areas. They changed up various mechanics of how the font etc. is displayed to fit into, well, English text. Also, 1 elixir here should be enough in order to defeat the Sandworm, I think. Either way, they put a lot of work into it and basically pioneered how more modern fan translation of various games are now looking nowadays. So this is, as I said, a really crazy important milestone. Plus, it's over 20 years old. This is before the Game Boy Advance version was released. So they didn't really have a reference point to do. This was even before the PlayStation version got released with its translation that was, let's say, really bad. You don't talk about the PlayStation version of Final Fantasy V. Honestly, because I'm mostly around speedrunners and speedrunning community, the most common complaint I tend to hear is that the loading times are just atrocious. Which they are slower, admittedly. Like every time you go into battle, you have a much, well, a fair bit longer of a time until you get into battle. Oh, that was unlucky. Yeah, that's an idea. Either way, but I dare to say the loading times are not that bad. Can't get past Fire's pirate talk. Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Yeah, personally I think the PlayStation load times are not that bad. But, honestly, one thing I feel like gets overlooked for the PlayStation version, aside from its really bad translation. To be fair, it's bad to the point where some people even find it funny and interesting, so I guess they got that going for it. But beyond that, it actually has redone music for the PlayStation version. And that music, honestly, is actually kind of decent. Wait, the fan... Whoa, wait a second. Sandworm just did full damage from the front row there. No! You meanie! Oh my goodness! I died to Sandworm. I had no idea he would deal full damage from the front row there. I did not know that could happen. I figured he always has the back... Because even if he's in the front row, if I physically attack him, I do not deal full damage. Whoa. Either way, honestly, what I think is really interesting, as mentioned in the PlayStation version of this game, is the music. With the exception of the Battle of the Big Bridge music, I think all the soundtracks are actually really nicely enhanced and just improved overall. Like, it's really good music. Is it better or worse than the ship scene from the fan translation Tales of Fantasia? Yes, I would say so. Rusted Grail, wow. Thank you so much for a long time. 37 ROMs of support. Welcome back. And I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much. But if somebody would like to count attacks, feel be my guest. We need 20 and 21 attacks in order to win. So this is one. I forgot to use the Vitality song. I say take care, Vanakat. Thank you for dropping by and have a good night. Or a good evening. Whatever it might be. Might just hook up your PlayStation 2 and give the PlayStation Final Fantasy V a go again. Yeah, the music is actually pretty decent, honestly, for the PlayStation version. Like, I genuinely really like it. And fun fact, I did not find the OST anywhere for the PlayStation version. All I find is the Game Boy Advance version and the Super Nintendo version. I don't see anywhere the OST for the PlayStation version on YouTube anyways. Which is interesting. Also, I recently, in the previous 4-Drop Fiesta season, I wanted to do a run on the PlayStation version just because I remembered the music being really nice. But it turns out that I do have the European version of Final Fantasy V Anthology. And unfortunately, I have an NTSC PlayStation 2, so I couldn't even play it on that. Nice, Rumbo. Nice, Rickedactylus. Hey, you're doing that too. Yep. Can't find music? That sounds like a challenge to you. Something like that, yeah. As I said, I just didn't find it on YouTube. I spent like 20 minutes searching. To be fair, 20 minutes isn't a whole lot of time invested, but I also only searched on YouTube. Your challenge run for this game was no deaths. Wow. Alright. Did you farm light staves for X-Death at the end of World 2 for that? Because otherwise you only have 30 seconds to crush him. I guess death by math would be an alternative. Which actually, you can't have death by math at the end of World 2 if you say no deaths, now that I think about it. Because somebody has to die in order to get level 5 Doom. It's doable, you just have to get stupid lucky with Atmos. Yeah, you could say stupid lucky, you just need to hit the sleep on the first try. So as long as you hit sleep on the first try, you're fine. But if you don't, well, you probably have somebody die, unless you grind a ridiculous amount beforehand. Parries, you can block those. Come on. I might die here again. 1 in 3 chance every time for him to physically attack. And because of how weird the ATB works for the sandworm, it might actually just go way faster than it does for us. Oh, I gotta move in before I got the elixir off. I played it a little bit risky, I guess. It's just surviving the initial comment. If you take everyone an inch of a black secondary, you only get 2 comments total. Nice. 2 comments or 2 turns total? Because technically he can throw up to 2 comments per 1 turn he gets. You can also get lucky that 1 in 9 times he's not going to cast any comment on a given turn. Because it's a 1 in 3 chance each time he takes an action to not do anything. Amelison, hello, welcome back. Thank you. Thank you so much for 5 ramps of support. Welcome back. And well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much. It's 1 turn, 2 comments total. Nice. So what do you throw at him in order to achieve that? What does 5000 damage per person? Or do you just have sleep ready? I guess 4 times casting sleep should more or less guarantee that he should be asleep. You like Final Fantasy music? Well, don't you have a great taste, my friend? That sounds pretty awesome, honestly. No pun intended, but let's make it one. Ah. I did not keep track of his HP. I probably should. But also this time I didn't accidentally hit a hole so far. I kind of hope to get by with just 1 elixir, rather than having to use 2. But I probably should start considering using a second one here. If I kept track of his HP, I could probably just go ahead and attack again in order to finish him off, but... Nice, finally a block. Thank you, Ferris. Been blocking really well against Biblos, so you've been slacking a little bit against Sandworm. $110. Kinda sketchy to attack here, but I'm still going to do. That was lucky. Do it. Alrighty, we got him. Just 1 elixir. And 1 death for that matter. Let me actually update the death count in my spreadsheet. We include 1 on Sandworm, 1 on Biblos for that matter too. I didn't update that yet. Actually, it's 2 on Biblos. We have 9 deaths total. Is that accurate? Yep, 9 deaths is accurate. Alrighty, defeated Sandworm, not really a problem. Just took a while because we don't really have any offensive capabilities. Was a samurai with black. Nice, that works too. Actually, I have no idea how I would approach it for attempting a Deathless challenge. But yeah, how did you defeat... Ow. How did you defeat XDeath at the end of Worlds 2? Did you farm light staves for it? But by the way, running is relatively tricky from these enemies, but if you hide, and you are the last person to hide in a regular encounter where you can run away from, you automatically run away from combat. So it's kind of like Flee, except that everybody needs to be hidden or dead in order for it to work. I remember grinding in these sections here as a Geomancer, because it turns out this was actually a pretty good farming spot for, well, taking on Soul Cannon as a poor little Geomancer. Soul Cannon is going to be relatively easy for our Bard. Welcome to you, Way Out West, and thank you for the good luck. Can absolutely use it. Wait, where's the trigger for the cutscene here? There's a trigger for the cutscene over here. You can trigger 1 on the left side or 2 on the right in order to proceed, but I tend to forget where it is. Where is the trigger? Oh, I guess I should update the title now. What is the deal with Biblos? Biblos is a monster, and in order to have a decent shot at taking him out, we have to run him out of magic. The problem with this is it takes almost 2 hours in order to run Biblos out of magic. Where's the trigger? Is there a trigger in the Super Nintendo version for this? Probably. Hello? Is that on the Game Boy Advance where there's a trigger on the left side? Huh. That explains why I never knew about this, I guess. It's not in this building, it's just above it. Okay, did I miss it, I guess? Up to the wall, straight left, straight back. To which wall? What do you mean left back? What is the main wall? This one? And straight back. What does straight back even mean? For XDeath, use capture release. Oh! Oh yeah, that actually works really well. You don't even have to farm light staves. Just 25%. That's a really good idea. Another way to deal with XDeath is use Reflect Trick and cast Fire 3 in your party. Right, but I figured that would still give him... Well, that would still potentially kill one of your members that got hit by the Doom, because he only basically have 30 seconds. The GBA route has you walk forward to the wall with the stairs, walk all the way left, walk right to the stairs, and can go up the stairs. Yeah, but there's no cutscene here. Unless I missed it. Oh, I needed to trigger this one first. I forgot about this. Ah, there we go, that's where it is. I forgot the first one. Alright, thank you, Komara. Very cool with a fire rod, you'll be hitting for something like 8,000 a shot. Depends on your level, I guess. I would have guessed more like 3,000, 4,000. But then again, I don't remember. But yeah, catch and release is definitely the way to go, I would say. Alrighty, so next up, after these sets of cutscenes, we get to our next boss, and that is going to be a bit of a clown fiesta, as people like to put it. But this next boss is known as... Where's my bard thing? There it is. This next boss is known as... Craigclaw, and his AI script is as follows. Tail screw, fight. Which means 2 and 3 times he's going to use tail screw, 1 and 3 times he's going to just attack. Tail screw is an attack that has a chance to hit. Thanks to our high level, we should have a reasonably high chance of not getting hit by it. Either way, it has a chance to hit. But if it does hit, it puts us into critical HP, meaning 9 HP or less. And 2 out of 3 times he just sets us to critical HP, which is really, really unpleasant. And then on top of that, he has Tail Screw, Mucus, and Fight in the 3rd turn. Mucus, I think, inflicts HP leak status, so if he ever Tail Screws us after he hits Mucus on us, well, we are almost certainly dead, unless we can sneak in an elixir in between. So, yeah. The Summoner Carl boss? The Defcons? Either way, if we get hit by Tail Screw the very first turn, it's actually more efficient to not worry about getting hit with a physical attack the second time, because we have a 50% chance to avoid a physical attack even if he uses it. And 2 out of 3 times in the second turn he will still use Tail Screw a second time, which means Tail Screw by itself is never going to kill you. It's just in combination with other attacks that kills you, so if we are already in critical HP and he uses Tail Screw again, nothing really is going to happen. So we can actually just play the odds and say we don't heal if he does Tail Screw in the very first turn. 59 for Summoner on Craigclaw? Do you mean Summoner? Because Summoner has 0. Geomancer has 13. Oh, Carl boss! Did I misread that? Oh yeah, Carl boss you said. Derp. Sorry. But yeah, Carl boss actually had a rather unique problem with the Summoner, where the Summoner came out of the stun literally just before Carbos would attack again, and that means Carbos could actually chain stun the Summoner way more extremely than any other character. I think it has to do with reaching level 16 rather than staying level 15. But that happened to be our next attack multiplier, so I kind of wanted to be level 16 for it. But because of that, and some weirdness with patterns, sometimes he would actually try to stun before we got out of the stun, like 1 frame before. Usually he would stun 1 frame after we get out of the stun, so we could just get chain stun forever. So it was ridiculously difficult to get past that guy with the Summoner, which is multiplied by the Summoner having, I think, literally the weakest physical strength stat in the game. How do you have a death count of only 9 with the Bard? The Bard is slow. It's not particularly, well, weak. Well, that's not true. But basically, a lot of grinding and a bit of luck. You weren't sure why the summoner had it so much worse than every other job. Yeah, it's a combination of the summoner having so low strength, you had to go basically to level 16 to deal okay damage, which is pretty high, aside from White Mage, which went way beyond that because you can't even use a dagger, which is a different problem entirely. And the other problem was that, for some reason, the summoner had just the wrong amount of paralyzation duration, and I have really no clue what exactly ties into that. Alrighty, let's see. Grey Claw, nice, first time he even uses that thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and charm him, which means he's going to potentially attack himself. And we can just count damage with this. So there's 78. And we try to just keep him charmed. So he has 2000 HP. So he doesn't do a whole lot of damage to himself, but the nice thing is that we can just keep him more or less permanently charmed, which is just amazing. It's a bit of a chance thing because he does have actually quite decent magic evasion, and he's actually level 43. So our chance to hit charm is actually not that good in comparison to many other enemies around this section of the game. But if we just spam charm, we actually have a pretty decent shot at surviving everything. I was considering using a Vitality Song, but I feel like it's not really worth it. I think he keeps gaining time on us, so eventually he will get an attack in before I get to charm him again. '84. But yeah, this is one of the nicer things overall. 28. So, one of the unfair things I dare to say is, if enemies are charmed, they continue with their ATB at the exact same pace as they were previously. They just keep going and get their turn eventually at the same time. If you are charmed as a player, both the charmed action your player takes needs to refill its entire ATB, and after you are no longer charmed, it needs to refill its entire ATB again. So, rather unpleasant, to say the very least. Oh, and we missed. That's not good. But he just used a physical attack. That's actually really lucky overall. Next he can use Mucus. He only has a 1 in 3 chance to use Tail Screw, so I'm actually going to invest into 1 Vitality Song. Nice dodge. Because this will just kind of continuously heal me up. And I try to charm him or charm block him again. Can anyone still access rooms? I do not know. Not an option for you anymore. There's a tail screw, but I think it's better for me to just keep trying to charm him. Because we do regenerate now, 72. Also, I made a mistake, I should be sitting in the back row here. Fluid sticks to body, which by the way casts slow on us, which is really not good. I forgot about the slow part of it. Tail screw, we got lucky to dodge that. There's no reason for me to sit in the front row, by the way. I am hiding. I'm a derp. That was a bad move. We dealt 1188 damage so far to him. Slow? Mucus again. Tail screw, and we are dead because of Mucus hitting. Alrighty, 1 death to Carl boss. Yeah, they did say they were going to discontinue the rooms thing. which is unfortunate because we were using it to track the thing. Which, by the way, Quadlight, would you be willing to rework that in order to make it so it works via whispers? It was scheduled for October 30th. Right, it would still be before Yagamonthly turns around though, for that matter. Slowed in this game here does not actually affect how quickly sap works on you. Tail Screw. I'm actually just going to sing a Vitality song and hope that we either dodge. So we only have a 1 in 6 chance to die here. Possible, but not exactly likely. Then we start charming him. Or try to anyways. -6. So what I should do actually, now that I think about it. First of all, I should have moved into the back row. I'm a derp. No reason to sit in the front row. Either way, aside from that, what I should do is once Carb or Crayclaw is about to get its second turn, or, well, it does now. Oh, we resisted Mirkus! Nice. Oh, that's not so nice though. We resisted Tail Screw, really nice. We want to hide on his third turn, is what I'm trying to say. So that was his first turn, next is his second turn, whenever he gets to move. Because only the third turn is particularly dangerous, realistically. I would think we deal just under 200 damage with a physical attack, so we could actually risk it when we have like 150 damage left in order to defeat Crayclaw. Like 3 more turns before he gets a physical, or his turn 2 in. Alright, now we hide. This is his turn 2. This is turn 3. He will get turn 1 in again, but we avoid the turn 3, which is the one that has a high chance of mucus. Nice block for us, or dodge I guess. Turn 2 is here. That means I actually should hide again. Turn 3. So now it's back to turn 1. Turn 2. Could be so much if we were faster than him, but we're not. Turn 3. It's really fast for a lobster. Alright, charm again. Because his next turn, even if he gets a turn, once again, we have only 1 in 6 chance to effectively die here. Because 2 in 3 times he will use Tail Screw, and 1 in 3 times he will attack, but we will block it. And we will block the attack 50% of the time if he attacks with the 1 in 3 chance, that way around. So we are past the halfway point on his HP. What are Terminator bits? Turn 2 now. Yes, Screw. And we're gonna hide again from his third turn. 10% extra when using Terminator Cheer. Oh, I thought that was a joke on some streams. Interesting. I have no idea. Turn 2 is here. Turn 3 now. Promo for the new movie out next month. Is it Terminator movie? That sounds weird. What year is it? It shows up in the bits main in the mod streams, but I don't see the info on the progress bits on yours. Okay. You didn't know either until you saw a Twitch ad. I see. I actually very rarely see any Twitch ads because they are kind of regional, and in Switzerland, for some reason, you often don't get any to my knowledge. 250 HP left on him. I will actually physically attack after his next move here, I think. Yeah, let's attack. This should kill him. Oh, never mind! We don't deal nearly as much damage as I thought we did. But it's fine. We win anyways. Okay. I expected to deal just under 200 damage. This was way less. I knew he had a lot of physical defense, but I didn't realize it was that much. Alrighty, second try. It's pretty decent though. I think the strategy worked out pretty well overall. Guys, did you know that background guy was streaming? Or is streaming right now? Music? Would have been pretty funny if he had attack too. Yeah, maybe. But again, 50% chance to dodge it anyways. What are the odds? I actually don't know. Alrighty. So, I'm going to take a look at the next boss. Adam and Timmy explain what I'm going to do for the strategy, but I will probably end it for here for today. So let's take a quick look at our next buddy, the Adam and Timmy boss. Switch over to the Bard. Alrighty, so we have Adam and Timmy. Adam and Timmy have a speed of 30. So we finally can actually abuse the fact that we can hide every other attack and kind of only get the desirable moves. So Adam and Timmy has the ability to use attack plus attack on his first turn, and then he uses attack on his second turn. That's literally all he does. He doesn't even have a choice between what abilities or moves he uses. He literally just only attacks and then attacks. That's it. That's his entire AI script. And that's kind of the interesting part about him. Because we are faster than him, we can hide during the attack. Then we wait until he gets to his next attack phase. Unhide right afterwards, attack him before he gets his second turn, and then hide again just right after he gets his double turn again. And so we will avoid a lot of damage. It's not gonna be particularly fast, because Adam and Timmy has a tremendous amount of physical defense. On top of that he has armor, which means all the damage is cut in half. On top of that, all the damage is cut in half. So what I should do probably is actually sit in the back row in order to have the regeneration ticks do a lot more work than they otherwise would, because he deals half the damage in the back row to me, as do I half damage to him. But my regeneration ticks are going to be more effective in the long run. And considering what strategy I plan to use, this is going to be a rather lengthy fight. But it should be a rather easy one as well, for that matter. Let's see. I'm trying to find Timmy in the AI script. So here we have Adam and Timmy. So oh, he actually has a slightly more convoluted AI script. Either way, another interesting thing about Adamatime is, by the way, that he is not heavy, which means I could use the harp in order to try and hit him. But because he comes with an innate shell status, the chance to hit with the harp is actually halved. It might still be worthwhile, because that could be a lot more damage, especially from the back row, than what I could otherwise do with a fusil attack. But with the downside, of course, that we don't have the 1 in 4 chance to block attacks anymore. So it's a thing that we may want to just test out, honestly. Aside from that, Adamatime has an attack multiplier of 18. Because we're going to be sitting in the back row, that is going to be halved to 9. Unfortunately, it does not give us bonus for rounding down. That's, well, I guess less than ideal. We have an attack multiplier of 8, so we also don't get additional malus for sitting in the back row. Either way, that's gonna be the plan. So, everybody, thank you very much for watching, for listening and for lurking. I hope you enjoyed the show, I hope you enjoyed your stay, and, well, hopefully until next time. Bye bye, and thank you very much.